building some fence this morning. Trying to get this garden fenced in. First thing we're going to do is just cut all of the vertical wires on about the first 15 inches of this fence so we can wrap our posts. Next we have to strip all the little bits of vertical wire off, so we just have all these bare single strands of horizontal wire. All of our horizontal wires are just bare wires about 15 inches long. And I'm making sure to contain all these little bits. Doing all the corners and wraps on this little garden fence will generate at least 2,400 tiny pieces of metal. And that's a lot of metal. You don't want to lose that for your kids to step on or your animals to eat. Next, I've got my fence just leaned up on my posts. I've run my bare wire ends around. Each horizontal wire runs around and then is wrapping it back around itself here. This whole end is secured to this first post, and now comes the fun part. I've got to pull this whole run and just see how it lays, because it's not straight. It goes this way and then it goes uphill like that. So we'll see. All right, I've been inside, I had a snack. Now I'm up at the upper end of the fence, and I'm gonna start by attaching a 2x4 to pull on. I'm gonna bend these wires around and just hook them on here. Well, probably have to wrap them once or twice. So the end of our fencing is anchored into this 2x4. We've got a chain here just to connect the end of my 4,000 pound come along. And then I've got this giant strap, which also has some pulling capacity, but that's really just to get out to this walnut tree. So I've got something to pull on. Whenever I do jobs like this, I actually feel compelled to put on eyewear, because if something were to snap, it could be bad. You can see this top wire is still a little bit kind of wobbly and loose. I don't think I'm going to be able to fix that because the shape of this space, and I'm not really that worried about it. You got this at the bottom. I anticipated this, but I'm just going to have to pull that down and staple it. Chicken, you're right, buddy. Play up at the top of the garden where I can watch you.
I told Brian that the chickens would eat you. I said chicken, so he would come up and down.
You told him what?
The chickens would eat him, so he would come up.
No, don't tell him stuff like that. That's not true, really. Don't scare little Bubba. He knows they won't eat him. The chickens won't eat you. Joyful's just teasing you.
Don't eat me.
Goats won't eat you either. Goats won't eat you. Yeah, go play. It's really a gorgeous day. It's a drying day, I like to think. In this January, February time, everything just gets soggy, wet, and it's really nature's way of preparing the ground for the spring, the freezing, the thawing, all the water. But it's nice to have these sunny, dry days. Next, I'm going to push this fence where I want it. I'm going to cut one of these wires in here and do the same thing I did on the other end. We're cutting this wire under tension, and then we're going to cut back all the verticals so we can wrap them around this post, and we'll just wrap them one at a time until we transfer most of this tension to that post. See, now I have this one wire wrapped around, and we'll just do that with all the rest of them, one or two at a time. I'm going to step on this to hold this fence down and staple it here, or try to staple it here. These staples are almost impossible to drive into this locust. So this section is done. I still have a little more stapling to do. It's a nice long run. You might think I'm finishing this garden fence to protect the garden, and because gardening season is coming. But just as much as protecting the garden, I'm actually interested in keeping animals in here so we can really better use this space. So finishing this garden fence is really just a first step in better using our animals to enrich our land and allowing them to really live up to their potential. Also, with the baby coming in just a couple months, if I don't do this job now and several other jobs now, it's just not gonna get done till, wow, late in the year. I just know that because we've done this before. It's 3 p.m. and Bree just called up and said she'd made a pot of coffee. And here it is on the wood stove, the warm wood stove. It's not too hot, staying warm. You know you're blessed when the cream from your coffee comes straight from the top of a half gallon of milk from your cow. And no, this milk isn't that old. It's that old, from the 26th. That is good, and it's nice to have a little break. I'm gonna go back out there and get to work. This may not be the most interesting vlog in the world, but I'm working. I've got some deadlines: gardening time, baby coming, what else? Those are the main two ones. And I really wanna get the pigs out there in the garden before too long. This has been another great day on the homestead. We got some great work done today. We fenced this whole long side, and then we fenced this top short side here at the top. So I just have 2 runs on that long side over there left to go. And we'll have this place fenced in to keep the pests out and keep the chickens and the pigs safe and inside. Thanks so much for watching. We always appreciate it. And we'll see you in our next episode.